Quick clap. See you later, suckers.
Such incredible style and features at such great value.
Go.
It's gonna feel like you stole it.
They'll never take us alive. Never.
And it's fun to pretend you did. Suzuki.
Victoria's solar homes rebates are still available. Google Keppel Prince Solar.
Part of the Ace Radio Network, 88.9 and 93.7 Mix FM.
14 degrees in Melbourne, a shower or two tomorrow, a top of 16. It's 5 o'clock. Good afternoon. I'm Tony Tardio. Victoria's hospital system is again under fire after an 83-year-old woman who'd suffered a suspected stroke spent last night in a tent due to a lack of beds at the Box Hill Hospital. The elderly woman's daughter Sarah said paramedics likened the tent in the emergency department to Guantanamo Bay. She says she spoke with a paramedic at the hospital who'd stayed behind to help empty urinals.
It's just disgraceful that this is what it's come to. And I said, what is the answer? And he said, we need to stop building roads and we need to start building hospitals.
Premier Daniel Andrews insists the government has been upfront about the cost of the suburban rail loop. The bill for the entire project was estimated at $50 billion in 2018. But new figures from the Parliamentary Budget Office requested by the state opposition show the cost for the first two stages could reach $125 billion. Premier Daniel Andrews maintains the first stage will cost $34.5 billion.
It's costed, it's funded, it's happening, and the only way to make it cost more is to scrap it. You've got to do both, hospitals and schools, road and rail, nurses and teachers. You've got to do all of this. That's what a government does. You have to do all these things at once and more.
The government is yet to release estimates for stage 2. Police are working to identify the body of a man found in Coburg Lake. A passerby raised the alarm when they noticed something in the water while going for a walk around 12:30 this afternoon. A post-mortem will be conducted to determine the circumstances surrounding the man's death. Labor says there are serious problems in the wages system for which the previous coalition government must be held responsible. Latest figures show Australia's unemployment rate has dropped to 3.4% in July. Chronic worker shortages have pushed up wages, but they're still not keeping up with the cost of living. Federal Employment Minister Tony Burke says the government is trying to turn around a decade of neglect. Experts are pushing for a society-wide approach to combating terrorism among young people. Lucy Gray in Canberra.
Fresh warnings are being issued to parents as extremists use playgrounds to recruit young children. In a recent case, vulnerable students such as bullying victims were shown beheading videos by a group of teens seeking to radicalise their peers. Home Affairs Minister Claire O'Neill says we need to clamp down on unsupervised social media use.
There are times where you might leave your kid with the iPad for longer than you think you want to.
But counter-terrorism expert Peter Lowe argues limiting access isn't enough.
It has to work in conjunction with education programs.
ASIO believes children as young as 13 are getting involved in terrorism activities. In Canberra, Lucy Gray at 9 News.
The lost seal found among cows at a dairy farm at Simpson in the state's southwest has had to be put down. Wildlife officers intervened, but the seal failed to find a way back to the open ocean along the same path it used to arrive at the farm. It was determined that euthanasia was the kindest option, with the seal suffering from blindness in one eye and dental fractures. In finance news, the share market down 23 points, the dollar buying 69.41 US cents.
Judy Demand knows the Hamilton property market. Call Judy at Groves Real Estate.
Retiring Bombers veteran Michael Hurley has pleaded for stability at the club, admitting it's hard to see Essendon on shaky ground again, with uncertainty surrounding coach Ben Rutten's future.
For me, there's probably an element of frustration. I know throughout my career I've craved a bit of stability and a settled footy club, and unfortunately that doesn't seem to be that way at the moment. I just hope that it can work itself out. When things aren't settled, when there's moving pieces and moving parts and instability, it makes things really difficult. If you make it harder for yourselves, then what hope you got?
Melbourne coach Simon Goodwin has slammed Essendon for disrespecting Rutten, saying it's been pretty poor how he's being treated. St Kilda veteran Dan Hanbury is retiring with Sunday's game against his old side Sydney, his farewell match. Bulldog skipper Marcus Bontempelli is a certain starter for Sunday's must-win clash against Hawthorn. It's 5:05. That's the latest in news and sport.
If you have an unwanted tree that needs removing or trees that are encroaching on fence lines, Barco can sort it out. They're your local accredited professional team and one-stop shop for tree lopping and traffic management.
The next time you try a McCafe coffee, you'll be enjoying the delicious taste of Australia's most popular barista-made coffee. Just one of many reasons to try McCafe.
It's hard to believe that some people buy beds out of town. Makes you wonder if they've ever been to Beds. And if they know how good the staff are and the time they spend making their customers happy, shopping elsewhere is a bit silly, really. Beds of Portland.
25
MixxFM's
years,
Business of
Aussies
the
have been
Month.
powering their passion with
your
Battery
official
World.
emergency
So if
broadcaster.
you're hitting the open road, on your next outdoor adventure,
MixxFM
simply
weather.
taking pride
Southern
in a job well
Grampians
done.
Livestock and Real
There's only
Estate
one
welcomes
place to go,
Edith Fox
and
to the
that's
Portland sales
Battery
team.
World.
There's a strong wind warning for the west coast and cloudy for the rest of your Thursday with winds tending westerly and an overnight low of 4 degrees. Cloudy again tomorrow with showers increasing in the evening and a top of 13. Saturday will be cloudy too with rain in the morning and 30k winds, a max of 12. And Sunday there'll be more cloud about with a slight chance of showers and a top again of 13. Tomorrow looking at a top of 13 for Hamilton and 15 for Warrnambool, Portland and the coast.
Harvey Norman Hamilton, your kitchen appliance specialist.
Right now it's 12 degrees.